Breaking news, you're looking at live pictures. This is Glendale, Arizona. Donald Trump just taking the stage at a rally. He's going to be joined by Robert F. Kennedy Jr., their first time together, this endorsement tonight. And now we have just learned, I mentioned this, I don't know if you heard me before the commercial break, 100 people at this rally have reportedly been treated now by medics. The reason is the heat. The current temperature right now in Glendale is 106 degrees. Just some perspective there, 100 people in that rally treated for heat-related issues. This event coming just hours after Kamala Harris's historic address at the DNC in Chicago. And one member of the vice president's family is going viral after that speech. Everything about this picture is all about the perspective, that it's really about the child, not Harris. There's something magnificent about that. The New York Times photographer, Todd Heisler, captured this moment. The little girl there is Harris's 8-year-old great niece, Amara, watching as her great aunt became the first Black and Asian American woman to lead a major party's presidential ticket. That moment just captured there. Out front now is the Democratic mayor of New York, Eric Adams. And Mayor Adams, a lot to ask you about. But first, that picture, it really captured everything. And as I said, what I loved about it was that it was about the little girl, right? That she was the center of it and looking up. What did you think when you saw that image?
Well, great photographers have the ability to capture moments in a real way, because sometimes we are looking at this grand event that's taking place on the stage of our political history. But in reality, there's a lot of sub-stories and subtext. Imagine what any immigrant is feeling right now of the possibilities of being in the greatest country on the globe. And this little girl and the little girls across America who are seeing the possibilities. And it's a wonderful moment, I think, for all of us. And I hope it's not lost on us how great this is for our American story. This is the greatest country on the globe. Nowhere else is dream attached to its name but the American dream.
So there's obviously what you're talking about is an enthusiasm that is felt by the Harris campaign and certainly was felt in that convention center and by Democrats across the country. Many Democrats, though, are warning that the honeymoon won't last. Alyssa Slotkin, the congresswoman, she spoke yesterday, and you and I were both there. We heard her. She's in a tough Senate race, and her message was, and I quote her, "Don't get high on your own supply and think everyone is as energetic as you are." Do you share that concern, or do you think she just is saying that because you can't get too greedy and too sure too early?
No, I believe she's 100% correct. Look where we were a month or so ago, and look at where we are now. Anyone that understands politics, 70-something days is a long time. And I say it over and over again, you have to stay focused and not be distracted, and you have to grind. We have to work for this. And places like New York City, we need to use our time to go to those swing states and not just sit here in New York and be filled on how well we're doing here and all the smiles that come with it. This is going to be a job that you have to complete and get over the finish line.
All right, here's the thing. You are on the front lines of one of the substantive issues that is not getting enough conversation in this campaign as of yet, and maybe it won't. But I'm talking about the border. It does matter, and you are at the center of it. So at the beginning of your term, Mayor, you supported President Biden very loudly and clearly. So let me just let everyone hear, in your own words, how you felt.
I'm the Biden of Brooklyn. I'm sure if you were to ask him what is his favorite mayor, he'll clearly tell you it's Eric.
All right, that was you then. You supported his re-election bid. All right, you did. But you also spoke out against him and his administration, and you did it loudly and clearly because of the unprecedented migrant crisis that you have faced in New York. All right, here are just a few of the things, Mayor, that you have said.
We're not getting the support that we deserve here in New York City. The president and the White House has failed New York City on this issue.
All right, so you called it like you saw it, like your city was experiencing it. I should note you did not have a speaking slot this week at the DNC. Do you think you fell out of favor with the White House and that's why you didn't get a speaking slot?
Well, first I want to go back. Not only did I call myself the Biden of Brooklyn, I was strongly in favor in 2020 of the Harris run. I just feel there's a strong alignment and something the Democratic Party has missed for a long time. We need to stop apologizing for the fact that we believe that public safety and reform can go together. We have done a great job in doing that. And many Democrats from New York did not speak. You look at Letitia James, who has really been a real important leader around this issue. She wasn't on that stage. This is not the time for us to sit on the bench and say, Coach, put me in the game, put me in the game. No, what's the blueprint? And that is what it's going to take. What do we need to do to win? The campaign put together the speakers that they want. I'm fully in compliance with that, and I want to know, how do we win, not how do I get on the stage. This is not about Eric.
I understand it. You're being
VP
gracious
Harris
about it.
and
But
the
yet
team.
you are facing, and your big Democratic city is facing, a migrant crisis. And there's no way around it. And people who live in this city and are American citizens have faced cuts because of the migrant crisis. And you have been on the front lines of that. Hank Steinkopf is a political consultant for Bill Clinton. He told the New York Post about your speaking slot, this is punishment for Adams criticizing the administration on the migrant crisis. It's not just bad for him, it's bad planning by the party. So that's the question, Mayor. Put aside that you're going to be personally gracious about it. Is it bad planning by the party to not take on this issue and address it directly?
Well, first of all, I'm not being gracious. I'm being factual. I want to win. And I know how to win because I won just about every race I've been in. And I know when you run these races, everyone wants to tell you how to run them instead of allowing the team to do so. The migrant crisis is real. And I put out a call to get executive orders so we can do things at the border. And remember, the Biden and Harris team put in place a bipartisan piece of legislation that the Republican Party decided not to move on. And we must address the issue. But I also know, as I move through these streets, affordability, housing, and having opportunities for the future is on the front minds of many, not only New Yorkers, but Americans.
You are also facing a re-election campaign next year yourself. You and other of your aides, Mayor, have been subpoenaed. This is part of a federal probe into alleged corruption and illegal campaign donations. Now, I know you have repeatedly vowed to cooperate fully. You've said you've done nothing wrong. But will you still seek re-election if the investigation finds otherwise?
Listen, I'm not going to be hypothetical. I got two missions right now. One, to see our VP become the president. The second is to navigate this city out of the various issues that we're facing. We've been so successful in doing it, recovering our economy, recovering jobs, decreasing crime in the city. Our subway system is back. Tourism is back. I need to stay focused. Remember what I said, stay focused, no distractions, and grind. That is what I'm going to continue to do. That's how I got here, and that is how I'm going to stay here.
All right, Mayor Adams, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you all very, very much, and God bless you, and God bless America.
All right, so you just heard RFK Jr. Those were very brief remarks. I'd anticipated, actually, Philip, that it could have gone longer than that. But first appearance together, endorsement, obviously hitting on his key issues. Right. Chronic disease, which was the one that fell on the most fertile ears with a lot of people, right? Autoimmune diseases and infertility and obesity, big food, all of that. Foreign policy, neocons, make America healthy again, the line. All right, but as you say, those aren't specifically chronic disease, anything you've ever heard Trump say before.
Yeah, no, I actually looked earlier. I looked because what he just said there, what RFK said, is what he said when he dropped out earlier today. I looked to see if Donald Trump could ever mention chronic disease, particularly in this context, and he had not. I mean, he did this. I mean, look, it's Donald Trump. There's pictures of the guy eating McDonald's on his plane. Like, this is not a guy who's deeply dedicated to healthy eating, right? I mean, the other things he said, though, like the thing about censorship, just total nonsense, right? He's referring to this Twitter file stuff, which has been debunked 1,000 times over. He said Donald Trump's going to protect us from totalitarianism because of the censorship thing. Like, all these things that he's saying